Welcome to my review of the LEGO Stranger Things, the Creel House. It is set number 11730, comes with 2,593 pieces, and is rated ages 18 and up. Now this set retails in the United States for $299.99 and in Canada for $399.99. Now without further ado, let's kick off this awesome set review, starting with the box. Now taking a look at the box here, of course this is inspired by Stranger Things Season 5 and slightly Season 4, but mostly Season 5, the final season of Stranger Things. And you see the Creel House that we first came to see during Season 4 in a very cool sort of, upside down, all boarded up. Just looks very interesting. You, of course, have also the vehicles, both Steve's car and the WSQK or Squawk van that they used during Season 5. You have all the minifigures included in the set. Flipping the set around, you have Netflix Stranger Things, a Netflix series on the side there, and of course another shot of the Creel House. And then flipping around shows the actual back of the set. So all the different rooms that you can see, somewhat detailed, somewhat undetailed, very, very cramped, which is a bit unfortunate, but we'll get into that. And you can see some of the shots they're creating, including, of course, changing Mr. Whatsit into Vecna there. Spoiler alert, but I mean, the show at this point has been out a few days by the time this review will be up, so I feel like it's fair game at this point. Not that it was really hidden in the trailers either, but nevertheless. And on the top of the box, you have all of your minifigures that are included in the set and named, of course, which is nice to have as well, because sometimes these sets with all these minifigures don't get all the names of their characters on here. Of course, big Stranger Things fan, so know all the characters, but still nice to have. Now, the set is divided into 3 manuals, though really the majority of the build is in one, of course, with the entire Creel House build being in this main manual here, and then the other 2 manuals being Steve's car and the Squawk van. And just showing off the unapplied stickers on the 2 included sticker sheets, as you can see here. As you can see, quite a few stickers in the set, unfortunately, despite its high cost. Here we have the extra pieces I was left with following the build. Way too many to sort. And for a set this large, it makes sense to have quite a few extras. Of course, lots of different studs and tile pieces. And then even, lightsaber hilts that were used for like the flashlights. And some other really nice pieces to add to your collection for free. And here we have our first set of minifigures, of course, being the main party of Will, Dustin, Mike, and Lucas here. And they all are pretty good minifigures. But really, they're a product of what they aren't, and what they aren't is the LEGO Fortnite tie-in of the Stranger Things Season 5 characters, which I'll show off an image right here now, also showing off the version of Vecna, and we'll get into them later. But as you can see, these ones just look so much better, unfortunately, like superior, way superior. Obviously, all of them have leg printing, or some of them have arm printing as well, and they just look so much better than what we got here. And it's not that these are bad, like I don't hate some of the characters, but they're just so plain, and in a set like this, so expensive, you would have liked to see them go the extra mile, like they look in that LEGO Fortnite tie-in for that LEGO Fortnite game. So a little bit unfortunate there, but all these characters, pretty standard, and I think do look like how their characters look in the final season. And just showing off the other side of their face prints. Will obviously has the most interesting one, tying in with him obviously being the sorcerer as revealed in Season 5. But the other ones all have, different face prints, which is nice as well. Our next series of minifigures are the teen cast, even though they're all played by adults, of course. You have Jonathan, Nancy, Steve, and Robin. Jonathan and Nancy are the better versions of their characters. Like, I think they look pretty accurate. Steve and Robin definitely don't really, in my mind. Both Robin's hair just doesn't seem right, and Steve is like a completely different character. Like, I don't know how they messed it up that bad for Steve, unfortunately, especially since he's a lot of people's favorite character in the show. But I think Jonathan and Nancy definitely turned out okay there. Robin is carrying a brick, if you're wondering, which is specifically a reference from Season 4. That's why I said it's primarily a Season 5 set, but then you have a reference to Season 4 that they just decided to throw in on this set. And here are the other sided face prints, and you'll notice something interesting with Jonathan. He doesn't have one. Kind of another cost-cutting measure from LEGO to not give him a double-sided face print on this figure. It's a bit disappointing. And the other ones look okay, but again, Steve, even with this more stern face, it just, it's weird to say, but some minifigures can really capture the look of an actor, and this one just doesn't, and it's just weird what they came up with this figure. The next three minifigures we'll take a look at are Max, Holly, and 11 here. And these ones, I think, are the absolute most accurate figures in the set and are definitely the nicest. I mean, 11 obviously has the dual molded legs with the red and sort of gray there, which is definitely nice. You have Holly with her cape piece, obviously representing Holly the heroic. And then Max definitely is the most accurate, in my opinion, though, again, would have loved to see some leg printing on her. But again, a cost-cutting measure on a set this expensive is very interesting. Unfortunately for her. And taking a look at the other side face prints, wasn't able to turn Holly's head, the Lego head getting stuck, but they all look pretty good. Max has an interesting accessory with the radio. Don't remember her using a radio at all during season 5, but they gave her one. And then 11 is carrying a stud and, cylindrical sort of translucent piece to represent Gatorade for her to recharge her battery. So interesting choices there. Our final two minifigures included in the set are Mr. Whatsit and Vecna. Now, like I showed in the previous image with the other characters, Vecna is red in the set compared to what I feel like should be brown, like that Lego 4-9 version. It's very weird that they made him red. I don't think the color works at all. Mr. Whatsit is definitely a really nice minifigure here, and he's also given his hat, as we see him use in the show, and is carrying a compass. Of course, you can pop off his hairpiece and give him his hat to wear. And he's the one character that does not have a double-sided face print that I think makes sense, besides Vecna, though Vecna does have printing on the back of his head. But Mr. Watson doesn't, just because when he has his hat on, you'd be able to see underneath, so makes sense there. Overall, I think Vecna looks pretty good. It's just the red color is just weird. And he has this, sort of claw piece that he's holding to represent, his sort of branch arm, as we see in the show. Here we have some of the side builds or inclusions in the set, with a bicycle, the front mailbox that we see used in the show, and then, of course, a lamp for #LampSupremacy. So, just some side builds included. Now, taking a look at Steve's car here, and as you can see, it looks very good. It is a little bit of a different design than what a LEGO Speed Champion set would normally be. Overall design works quite well. You of course have the piece to represent the mirror there, which works. Obviously no reflective sticker on the back there to represent the mirror, but still works. You have the sticker piece of the license plate, of course, which is fine. The other aspect I want to show off is the fact that you can transfer over this sort of antenna piece that they used during the course of the show and actually attached to Steve's car. Spoiler alert, but again, feel like it's fair game at this point with the show being out and this particular scene being out for a while at this point. Still though, as you can see, you transfer it between the van and this car here, so that's definitely nice that they were given that information ahead of time. I was saying you could fit in 2 characters, but I was wrong. You can really only fit in Steve, unfortunately. I mean, you could probably fit Holly, sort of, if you fit her in a certain way, but generally, you can only fit in Steve as the driver. So, it would have been nice if it was a regular Speed Champion size car, because then you could at least fit 2 characters side by side, which I think would have been nice, but they made it a little bit thinner, and like I said, a really different building process than what a normal Speed Champion set would be, so there's just simply no room, unfortunately. Our next vehicle is the Squawk Van, which I will just say has quite a few stickers on it that definitely aid the set, but would have been nice if some of them were printed parts here. Like, for instance, this piece here is a sticker, and then the ones you saw at the front, and then, of course, the license plate here, sticker as well. So, again, just unfortunate that all of them had to be stickers, and we didn't get any exclusive prints in this set. Of course, just like Steve's car, you can pop off the roof to gain access inside. Which I'll just post it like this. Obviously, you can see you can fit some characters inside. We'll just get Jonathan as the driver in this case. Now, like I said, you can fit in a driver, of course, which in this case will have Jonathan. Unfortunately, with the parts they use, even though I feel like there is space, they use these pieces there, as you can see, and the orientation that they use, you can only fit in one character. Like, I feel like there's room for two, but they just made it so you can't fit in two for some reason. So you fit Jonathan in, obviously, and he'll fit in perfectly fine, and you can see him right through the windshield, of course, and he looks great, of course. But just would have been nice if you could have had another character next to him, because I feel like there's room, but they made it so you don't have room, just randomly. In the back, I guess you do have some room that you can place some characters. So in this case, we'll just throw Will in there. Obviously, you could, I guess, pretend they're driving a Demogorgon back, but you can throw at least Will inside, and I don't even think you can really see him in there, but he's in there, and like, there's not a whole lot of room for any other characters, unfortunately, in this set. So just would have been nice if it was just slightly bigger, but again, they downscaled both of the car sets in this. Now let's get into the Creel House. And starting off, obviously, this is sort of meant to be a mix of the upside down version and the real life version. Though with the boarded window, it's definitely giving off primarily upside down vibes, especially when you pull the set apart, which we'll get into. I still think it looks really good. And what is nice is if you don't want it to be boarded up, it is just simple pieces here that you can just pull off one by one. I'll actually take off these ones to reveal the windows. Like, you don't have to have them stay on if you wanted it to have a bit of a cleaner look. You obviously have all those stud pieces showing. As you can see, some of them are there for some customization of where you want to place the sort of board pieces. But in the end, you can take them off, which is kind of nice. If you wanted it to, just be a regular house and even incorporate it into like a Lego City mock or what have you. So that's definitely nice. I think the overall design that they came up with is really excellent here. It's definitely a little bit small though, and we'll show that off, especially on the other side, because especially at its price point, you really would have liked to see the set go all out. Like, I feel like the previous Upside Down Stranger Things set did. Like, I feel like that one, while it was also a bit small, it wasn't as small as I feel this set is, even though the overall house build is technically bigger than the other one, since this one is just one and it's not incorporating the upside down and regular versions of the set, if you know what I mean. So overall though, you have some nice plant detail on the front, which we see. I actually would have liked if they incorporated more color, because I feel like they were a little bit more colorful flowers that we saw on the show. They presumably Lego was shown primarily concept art from Stranger Things and Netflix. Like, they obviously weren't shown the full final product, so they were basing some of it off of earlier stuff. But in the end, still would have been nice if we got a little bit more color at the front, as it is very plain. But again, I guess it's also primarily an upside down set, so you have that going for it too, so you could swap it out as you see fit. You have the nice trees here on both sides, which almost feels like a callback to the upside down set to make it look somewhat similar, because I feel like the trees aren't actually meant to be that close to the actual house. But I don't mind it. I think it looks really nice next to it. Overall, really like the design of the top of the house there, like the chimney, of course, and even some of these other sections. Just really nicely designed. Now, of course, like I said, the set splits apart. So like the previous version that had, the fact that you could flip the set fully upside down to, of course, be in the upside down essentially, this set does it a little bit differently, where you can pull apart the set to have it in different sections. And as you can see, it's seamless. It looks awesome. Obviously, it reveals some hidden details like the hidden grandfather clock here that obviously was more of a factor in Stranger Things Season 4. You can get a better look at, of course, the front glass panel that, of course, was notable during Stranger Things Season 4 of the Creel House. As you can see there, it's actually kind of hidden, but just like that piece there, which is actually a printed tile or translucent piece, so it looks really nice. It's definitely one of the nicest printed pieces we've gotten, which is definitely good to see there, and it is a movable door, which we'll get into later. Like I said, very easy to actually put the set back together just like that, and you can really see it come apart. Like, It has some resistance, which definitely makes it so you don't pull too hard and rip the set apart, basically. Not that I'm too worried about that, but it's definitely nice. And you can just see, you can really play around with it. And you can even, just open up slightly. You don't have to do it as far, though it does kind of leave it, it just looks more complete, for lack of a better term, when you pull it completely apart. And you can actually see some sticker detail representing the upside down. There's another sticker back there, which we'll get a better look at when we're from the back. So that's definitely nice. And like I said, just really fun just playing around, just pulling the set apart and then putting it back together. Like, the system they designed here is ingenious. Now let's flip the set around to reveal the back of the set, of course. And you can see, obviously, a lot of different rooms and references from Stranger Things, particularly, like I said, Season 4 and Season 5, since that's when Vecna came into the picture, of course, even though they have since retconned that he was the big bad of the whole show, essentially. So up here you have the reference to the attic, where young Henry was doing some experiments with spiders and whatnot, and basically coming up with a design that he would make the Mind Flayer in with the Black Widows, of course. You even have a radio here, obviously brick built, but this is supposed to represent a radio of him, using the static to unlock his powers a bit further. You have Henry's childhood bedroom here with a piece with a sticker here of spiders, of course, because young Henry Creel was obsessed with spiders, hence why the Mind Flayer took on the form of a spider. You have some other detail, including the actual drawing of the Mind Flayer that I believe is shown him coming up with. And this piece is a sticker, of course. Would have been nice if it was a print. It actually fits quite well, like compared to some other stickers, so it is pretty seamless, but it is a sticker. Still very nice piece. And there are some other details inside Henry's room on his wall of some stickers of like some posters in his room, as you can see there, and even what I presume to be a trophy, along with his blue bed. Moving over, we have the living room of the Creel House here, which looks pretty nice. On this desk, you actually have this sticker piece as well, talking about local teens rescue principal from tragic tumble, which is a reference from the stage play of Stranger Things: The First Shadow. Basically what happened in that play, won't spoil it, but that is an event that happens during that. So that's kind of a nice reference to that, and it's kind of the only reference to that play that we have in the set. Kind of like how we didn't get a lot of reference to it in the show, but it is an important event. Obviously is a brick-built couch here, and then, a lamp piece here. Obviously things that we sort of see during the events of Stranger Things, Season 4. Moving to this next section, we have the doorway, like I was saying, which you can open up, if I can, just like that. So you can open and shut the door, which is definitely nice. And like I said, a really nice tile piece here, translucent with the print, just looks excellent. You also have the telephone off to the side here, obviously from when they're calling during the events, about all the strange phenomena that they have in the Creel House. So that's definitely pretty cool there. Moving over, we have the dinner table, which becomes both a factor in Season 4 and Season 5, of course. This is the room that I feel like is the most cramped, because it's obviously meant to be so much larger than it is. They only are able to fit 4 chairs, not even one on the other side, unfortunately. So would have been nice if this set was just, I would say 4 studs longer, because I feel like they could have. I mean, it would have been a little bit complicated, admittedly, just with all the technique of the set, but I still think it would have just enhanced the set being a little bit larger. Obviously it wouldn't have gone much farther, probably only another 2 seats, but having 6 chairs instead of 4 just, I think, does go a long way. Moving up to Holly, or also Henry's sister's room. Forget Henry's sister's name, but obviously this is meant to be her room, and then Holly sort of takes it over during the events of Season 5. You have the picture or book of a bunny rabbit. You have actually a really fun reference of the fire poker here, and slight spoilers, but this becomes a bit of a factor during the events of season 5. You have these 2 studs here, which is actually where you're supposed to put Henry's hat when he's not wearing it. So I'll just put it back on there. It just sits on top of there, just like that. And then some other detail in the room, like some stickers of, some a teapot, pouring into all these different things. That's kind of fun. Actually, now I remember, this is all references to Alice in Wonderland, as Henry's sister was Alice. So apologies, but just remembered that. So you have obviously the rabbit reference there, and then the teapot. So all references to Alice in Wonderland, and of course, Alice in the set. Or Holly is sort of meant to represent Alice in both the show and in this set, in both how she looks and acts. You do have some nice sticker detail here of the wallpaper and actually the mirror, which is, again, is another thing we see during the events of the show. Holly using the mirror, and you can place her in the room. Obviously, it isn't reflective at all, which would have been nice if they did do a reflective sticker here, because they have done that in the past, but in this case they chose not to. And then our final main room is another attic room. You have, of course, a piece here. It's sort of meant to represent the scene from season 4 when Max and Lucas are preparing, to use Max as bait. In fact, you actually have this sticker detail here of Max's drawing of her and Lucas that we see her make in season 4. And then also this sort of piece here meant to represent Max's cassette player. Obviously, that was playing Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush during the events of season 4 to keep her alive. Our final little set or room in this set is actually sort of a transformation room where you can swap out Vecna and Henry or Mr. What's-It. So basically, as you pull the set apart to reveal the upside down portion of the set, it will reveal Vecna, as you can see, with another sticker detail of the upside down behind him, and just showing, again, very nicely designed. Kind of reminds me of, the Darth Vader transformation sets in the past, how it would flip around from a burned Anakin to Darth Vader, and kind of the same idea there. So that's definitely fun. The other last sticker detail I just want to show off is the stairway that they have right here. Definitely a shot that they captured quite well from the show, I have to say. Like, I remember that shot. They show it a few times, the stairwell in the upside down, and that's definitely just a really nice reference there that they managed to capture. And finally, just want to show off, since this shows off more of the technique of the set and how it splits apart, you can really see it working in action there, and it's just really cool, I have to say, what they managed to do. And take a look at the 2 Stranger Things sets that we have released, obviously other than the Brickhead sets. And as you can see, the upside down one actually towers over the Creel House by quite a few pieces. Obviously, the Creel House is a little bit more, I guess, bulky is the best way to put it in terms of the actual full house. It's a little bit bigger than the actual, 2 Byron houses put together. But you can really see them really next to each other, and I gotta tell you, I absolutely love Stranger Things, and I really hope we get more Stranger Things sets. I think these 2 sets look really cool next to each other, and it's definitely nice that we have 2, pretty iconic scenes from Stranger Things represented, but there's so many more that I think they can do, and I really hope we get more, because these next to each other just makes me want more. The LEGO Stranger Things, the Creel House, to me, is a pretty good LEGO Stranger Things set, with its biggest drawbacks being its price, what else is new, but also its minifigures. Without a doubt, the minifigures are the most disappointing aspect of the set. The fact that we barely get any leg detail other than one of the characters in 11 getting dual molded legs, and then Vecna having the additional leg printing. Like, that's great, but it feels like they skimped out on a lot of these minifigures, and some of them are just downright inaccurate. Some of the figures, it's just a product of what we've seen done with LEGO partnerships or LEGO Fortnite, seeing those figures and how well they look. Vecna and the main four boy characters, you know, just those versions of the characters look so much better than what we got, unfortunately, that it makes you wish we got those in this set instead. And then some of the other characters like Steve are just completely wrong, unfortunately, and do detract from a set like this, you know, especially since, while I want more Stranger Things sets, you know, the fact we've only gotten 2 large-scale Stranger Things sets over the entire course of the show's run, and now that the show is over, it feels unlikely that we'll ever get any other ones, at least major sets like this, for a long time. With that being said, that's all my opinion. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this set in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on the minifigures, the whole set? Do you think that LEGO did a great job on the overall build of the set? Do you think they skimped on the minifigures? Let me know. Please leave a like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and have a great day, everyone.